Hello and welcome to High Caliber TV, your source for figure and model updates every Wednesday and Friday. Today on the Workbench, I'm just going to be doing a really quick video because I feel like the last couple were a bit rambling and they took too long. So I'm just going to show off the next step of the figure, which was the basic detailing stage. So as you can see, the trousers have been highlighted and the camouflage pattern has been applied. I want to talk really briefly about the camouflage pattern because I didn't have the color for the blob island that you can see on there. You can see that you've got the basic trouser color and then there's the circular blobs on there, which I started off with these two Citadel colors, Lauren Forest and Administratum Gray, and then I blended that and I realized that in order to get to where the box art was, because that's what I used as my reference, I needed to add a little sneaky blue in there, which I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. Obviously once I added the blue it was a bit funky, so I toned it down with some more of the gray and it really came out quite well. I'm quite pleased with that. The pattern hasn't been highlighted. I am hesitant to highlight camouflage patterns in 1/35 scale because I find that unless you're a master at it, it can look a bit crazy, like it looks schizophrenic. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be blending everything together with a MIG or a Warpig or a CMK pigment after I apply the wash to the trousers, which will blend everything together and make it look like it's faded together as normal clothing does when you see it after it's been in the sun, like this guy is supposed to have been. The keffiyeh, as you can see, is looking pretty rough. I highlighted it with a really fantastic off-white. I highly recommend that everyone, even if you don't do war games or anything, get this color. It's in their newer range. It's just off-white, so it's really subtle, but the pigment count is fantastic. It's almost perfect. You can really get a good flow off the brush, unlike a lot of white, which can come off rather thin, as you know. So I applied the red with a bit of brown to it to make it not quite as bright, and I just went for a basic pattern across the flat surfaces, but then on all the crumpled up folds I went a little bit crazy and just tried to make it look random, as if you can't really tell how the pattern developed, but you can tell that there is a pattern. That's going to be toned down significantly, as I said, with a wash and some pigments to blend it together, because I mean, in this scale, from that distance, you can't actually tell what the pattern would be when it's crumpled up like that. The shirt was highlighted really basically, same as the trousers. I just used a thin brush, my detail brush, and I got a lot of flow on it and painted the highlights as naturally as I felt they could be painted. I didn't dry brush it, which is what I used to do, but it turned out alright, I think, on that. The vest, however, was dry brushed. I used a couple of really simple colors, and this is how I used to do all of my figures, and you can get some decent effects with it, but it has its limits. So I try to leave dry brushing to vests, weathering, weapons, things like that that are a single color and have a lot of really great definition. These are the two main colors that I mixed to get the first highlight on it, and then for the second highlight I added a bit of this color, and that gave me the definition that you can see there. Now what I always try to do is consider where the weapon is going to be. It's going to be hanging across his chest there, so it'll be casting shadows on the pistol and the M4 magazine pouches, so try to consider that when you're applying your highlights. That's all for today. For this figure and many more, visit us at highcaliberminiatures.com. I'll put the link in the description below. Next time, tune in and I'll be showing off the flesh tones, the basic details, and the wash pigment thing that I've been talking about so much. It's just basically how to finish the figure. So be sure to follow us on Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.